Welcome to this Corvus Belli special feature about Warcrow concept design. The Sÿenann elves have just arrived at this fantasy wargame. This is the best moment to check the artistic process that's behind this new army. Let's take a look. We used banded layers to resemble the patterns of leaves deep in the forest, combined with strips of fibers and leather to break up the silhouettes and hide in the forest. The wooden bows are made with very natural shapes, in a way that one might think it's even alive. The quivers made with the bladders of some devouring plants from the deepest part of the forest provide the arrows with poison. To differentiate the unit leader, we incorporated a cloak, a garment symbolizing leadership that will usually show to highlight unit leaders among the Sÿenann figures. This troop is a Sÿenann bard. He wears very light armor, so we changed the vegetative elements of the armor for a fabric of knotted and superimposed fibers, decorated with beads and the potions that he shares with his companions. In addition, we incorporated some wooden masks and a string instrument to reinforce his stage skills. The body painting is more detailed and decorative. This Sÿenann is in complete contact with the forest that surrounds him and does not need armor to practice his magic. The design of his clothes includes more vegetative elements than any other. The leaf skirt of his tunic looks the color of the leaves of the season, and they seem alive around the druid. Wooden knuckles with Sÿenann writing, bags, and a blade to collect herbs complete the outfit. She is the commander of the Sÿenann forces. She therefore wears a cloak that defines her as a leader, but her rank is reinforced by the wooden crown she wears on her head. She also retains the long leaf cloth worn around the neck by the unit she once belonged to, the Shadows of the Yew. One of the 3 highest ranks in Sÿenann society is becoming a Grand Captain, and this is represented with a finer workmanship on her armor, which has some similarities with the protectors from the forest. The most skilled and stealthy ambushers of the Sÿenann, a society that already goes unnoticed in its forest by the inhabitants of the world. Able to climb and walk on branches even faster than on solid ground, they move fluidly through the trees like shadows. For this reason, we equip them with a series of devices, such as wristbands, knotted ropes, and blades on their shoes. They retain camouflage elements such as body paint, strips of leather, and fibers to break up their silhouette. We also included a large number of leaves attached to the fabric of their scarves, but to further emphasize their stalking nature, we incorporated a mask to hide their face. Their weapons are short because they are so good at their job that they prefer to finish off the enemy less than a palm away from their astonished face. This is an Alula, a Sÿenann from the forest born in the steepest terrain and capable of flight. We considered that a very large wingspan and a double set of them would be necessary to support the weight of a humanoid of the Syenann's height and flight. Also, he must be able to perform the dives, acrobatics, and changes of direction that they do in combat. We also added down and small decorative feathers to the shoulders and head to reinforce their charisma, and we left them barefoot since they rarely touch solid ground far from their cliffs. We made their weapons a heavier version at the tip of their blades to represent their most common technique, in which they take advantage of their dive to attack their enemies with brutal slashes. These are the Grove Curtailers. They are the Syenann's front line in close combat. Their plant pattern armor has been fitted with a helmet whose conical shape is specially designed to deflect the usual blows to the head in hand-to-hand combat. The rest of the body rely on their skill in handling 2 weapons for defense and attack, allowing them to be light and fast. They are experts in the use of all types of swords, so they carry various combinations of the curved Syenann blades. The leader of the unit adds some colorful bird feathers to her cloak and helmet to show her leadership. He is another of the commanders of the Syenann force. As Leoslaith wears the wooden crown on his head and the cloak on his shoulders, these elements attest to his rank. This great captain comes from the protectors of the forest and maintains many elements of their equipment. However, to reinforce his position, his recurved wooden bow is longer and more powerful. This was just a tiny glimpse into the design process behind Warcrow from Corvus Belli. We hope it was interesting for you. Farewell, and remember, the fog is upon us,